Hey guys, today we're here and we're reviewing these. The LEXUS LS500 and the BMW 740Li. Okay guys, today we are reviewing the two luxury saloon behemoths. That is the Japanese equivalent of the most luxury car money can buy, and that is the German equivalent. So we are going to do a side-by-side comparison. We're going to drive the Lexus. We're going to sit in the back this time too, because anyone that's an avid viewer of the channel would know that we've driven the Lexus LS500. We've done a full review on the car. We've also driven the S-Class and done a full review on that, and then we did a side-by-side. But now we have something a little bit different. We have the Lexus and we've got the BMW. So the BMW here is a 2020 740Li. So that means it's the long edition. And my goodness, it is dripping in luxury. And this here is the 2020 Lexus LS500. And my goodness, anyone that's been watching the channel knows that I do love a good Lexus, especially this car here. It's just so smooth and so comfortable and so refined. So today we're going to see how it rivals up with its European counterpart. We are going to go into full detail in terms of what's different in the BMW to what's different in the Lexus, and see which is the better luxury saloon for your money, because this one here has a starting price tag of 250,000, whereas that one there has a starting price tag of 210,000. And the ones that we are comparing, I think this one here would have been under around 270. And that one there is the $210,000 version. So there's quite a considerable gap there. And we're going to see, is it worth the money? So we're going to drive both cars. We're going to sit in the back. We're going to be chauffeur driven today and see which one's the better car, because the conclusion might actually really much surprise you. So we start off with the BMW, and straight away there's a problem. The car's not even a year old, and it says check control, driver assistance restricted, affected systems, lane assist, cruise control, adaptive cruise control, side collision warning, crossroad control. The car's not even a year old. BMW, what's going on? Why are your controls affected? Anyways, and here's the thing, I've tried to sum it up as easily as I could. The BMW is the driver's car, and it's very intuitive. What I mean by that is that it understands you as the driver. It's very much the driver's car. Now, when you walk up to the car, it detects that the key is closed, so it opens the car. All the electronics are already on, so it's already connected to your phone by the time you've come into the car. So once you press start, your music already starts playing. Like straight away, instantly. The car turns on and you can set off straight away. Now, you can even pre-program it that if the car detects that it's, let's say, anything less than 15 degrees outside, then the heated seats will turn on automatically. You can even have it to turn on the steering wheel heater automatically as well. You can make it that if it's over 20 degrees Celsius, you can make it for the air-conditioned cooling seats to be on instead, and the temperature to be set to a certain degree. Like come on, that's good. That's good. Like BMW, that is top notch. So you've walked in, it's 10 degrees outside, so your heated seats are on. But not only that, you have a heated armrest and a heated armrest here. So it's sort of like, well, do I want my hand to be warm or my armrest? Arm, hand. Like, and it doesn't get much better than the key on the BMW. Now, I do have a full review on the BMW, so if you haven't watched it already, please watch it, because I can't go into full detail on the BMW. But the key, it's got a touch screen on the key, so I can preset the temperature before my next departure time. So if I know I'm going to leave the house at 6 p.m, I can set it for 5:45 to have the air conditioning on, the heated seats on, and all the rest of it. It's nice. Now, some things which aren't so intuitive is this display in front of us. Now, it shows everything you possibly wanted to, but it doesn't allow you to change anything. What I mean by that is, on the right hand side we've got our music there and it's playing, and the only button that you can use to change what's happening in front of you is this one here. Yes, all the buttons on the steering wheel, and none of them can change what's on your screen in front of you. So even the Lexus can, which is surprising, but the Lexus shows nothing on the screen in front of you, so really begs the question as to why you'd need it. But on something like this, where it's got this huge display in front of you, as big as the S-Class actually, but you can't change anything, and your map's always there, and your kilometer or how fast you're going is always on the left, and you can just change it from like your music to you're now in drive. It's nice to know your current liters per 100, your total odometer, your kilowatts, and your Newton meter rating. There's something we need. Your G meter. Oh, that's what I need. I need a G meter in my 7 Series. Said no one ever. Come on, BMW, like, give me more. I do have a few niggles with the BMW. Yes, I do. And especially if you're going to drive the Lexus straight after, you're going to realize the difference in ride quality. Like, yes, this BMW drives so nicely and it's so smooth, but yet I can still hear a lot of road noise. I can feel a lot of it as well, and that's even with the car in Comfort Eco Pro mode. And yes, it's got a few different damper settings, Eco, Comfort and Sport, and you really don't want to have this car in sports mode, so I have it in comfort mode, and it just doesn't have the same comfort level that the Lexus has, or the Mercedes even. And it tries really hard, like going around this corner, it's nice, but I'm very much swaying towards the left hand side. I wasn't exaggerating. And they both ride on 20-inch wheels. Like, this has been optioned up with the M package, so instead of getting 19-inch wheels, it's got 20-inch. So why is this one just so much rougher? Now, the only other thing that I have a qualm with in the BMW, and I'm not even going to talk about the back seats here because we're going to jump into that later, is the steering. It's just, that's a 180-degree turn and the car barely turns. It's just so vague. And that's in comfort mode, and yes, in comfort mode you sort of want it to be a little bit easier, but even if in sports mode, ooh, downshifts, even in sports mode, like, that's a lot of steering I have to do for not a lot of turning, like. And this is what gets me the worst. This is what does it the worst for me. And I'm not exaggerating it. I'm going to put it into comfort mode. There we go, comfort mode. And I'm just going to come to a stop here. And I'm going to try to stop as slowly as possible. Okay, I'm going to turn off auto hold. I'm going to try again. Doesn't matter how hard you try, it's got this jerk. Like, BMW, come on. Why is that jerk so accentuated? That's what gets me. And oh, the sway and the steering, it's just so vague. Like, yes, it's electric power steering, but give me some feeling towards it. It makes a lot of sense now why there aren't as many 7 Series on the road as there are S-Classes, and that's just because the S-Class is a better car. There, I've said it, the S-Class is a better car if you're looking for a European. Let's just jump in the back. So we are now in the back of the BMW, and as you can see, I'm sitting very high up, and this is the lowest this car goes. Like, this is a European car, and I know most Europeans are not short people. So how can a European executive sitting in the back of the BMW be comfortable? Now, if I recline myself, okay, I've reclined myself. If I recline myself even more, that's very high up. Now, apart from the seat, we have a fair amount going on here. We have our sunshades, of course. We have a rear sunroof, which is pretty cool, because what I can do is this button here, it opens it up and gives me some very nice skylight. It's very posh, this car, and something I do like is this quilted type leather. It's very nice. Of course, it's got some massive leg room, wood grain finish, and ambient lighting with different colors, so you can actually choose different colors like purple, yellow, lilac, blue, you name it. You can choose what color you like. Now, something I love about this, and this is very odd, it's got an ashtray. Like, it's 2020 and they still come out with an ashtray. How cool is that? Now, I'm not a smoker, nor do I condone it, but it just shows you the type of caliber which BMW expects in the back seats, and it's accommodating for everyone, because otherwise you push it in and you never know it's there. That's oh, that's such a BMW thing to do. Now at the back here, of course, we've got 4-zone climate control. The settings are all the way there in front of me. However, I can actually do it from this screen here, and this is actually pretty cool, because this screen here is detachable. So if I press that button, look at that, it's a little tablet. So that means if someone is sitting in the center here, I can still change the music. I can change the stations here too. I can go back here, I can go onto my iPhone, or screen mirroring, which on iPhones you can't screen mirror because this is all Samsung. Yes, Samsung. But if I go back to the home, I can change the car, the climate control, the rear climate. Here we go. Can change the fan speed, can change the temperature. That's pretty cool. That's like that just from here, like, come on, man, that's very cool. I got ionization. I have fragrance control, so the car will never smell, even if you're a hire car driver and you've got a passenger with questionable odor. Just level 3 fragrance, please. And you got 2 different fragrance types, and it shows you how full it is. So if you're running low, you just go back to BMW, they top you up, and there's your fragrance. So you've got that there as well. Interior lighting, so we were just talking about the different colors of the ambient lighting you can do. Look at this, all these different colors: yellow, orange, white, blue, green, purple, and different strengths, different brightness settings, on or off. It's just so cool. Sun protection. Now the Lexus actually gets all of this as well, but as we're going to go through it in the Lexus, you can't detach it. So if you have 5 people sitting in the back, you can't adjust anything, which, anyways, we'll go through that in the back. Now, you might see in that camera, you might not. Over here, we have a bar lighting. Now that bar lighting, it's so cool at night, and the ladies will love it, because that means they can get the perfect, and I mean perfect, Instagram shot of their man driving them around. To show the other girls what their man doesn't have. The only other thing I really like about the BMW is these cushions. It's just some added comfort. Now, we are going to go through this in the Lexus, but I do think that this is quite, as much technology as it has, and as much as we've gone through, it just doesn't compare to the Lexus, and I'll show you why. Now, you can't forget, it's got a mirror at the front. How cool is that? So you can just check your makeup, and when you turn this bar lighting on, you can check everything here. The ladies will love this car. They just love it. So we are now in the Lexus, and we're only gonna go for a short drive before I jump into the back, because let's face it, we know how these drive. If you've watched my comprehensive review, you would know how much I rave about the Lexus. If you haven't, be sure to watch it. I'll put the link in the description or somewhere. They are just such a smooth car. And now after driving the 7 Series, the Lexus really is underrated. It's got everything you could want and need. But the one thing that it doesn't do is turn heads. And that's probably the only downfall of the Lexus. And when you've spent over $200,000 for a car, it's sort of what you want to do. It's so quiet, and the gear changes are smooth, and the gear changes are quick, and you'd think it would be the other way around, but it just isn't. And now, oh, it's just so easy around the corners. And it's got a fair amount of technology, but of course, some technology where it lacks is the dash in front of us. Now, it's not very customizable, and it doesn't show a lot. And the only other thing which is a little bit annoying is this big screen here. It's very basic again. Like, it shows our map, and if I click on menu, it's got our audio, destination. Of course, it's got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto now. It didn't used to, but it's really quite basic. Like, does it really matter? I think it does, but in terms of comfort, nothing beats the Lexus. It's just so smooth, and you can have it in the different drive modes. We've already gone through them in our comprehensive review, but they make such a difference. Like, in terms of the steering, like, it's not vague like the BMW, and it's got a good pickup too. Oh, if you need it. If your passenger in the back is in a rush, you can be sure that this will get you there. 0 to 100 in 5 seconds in a car which is over 2 tons. Like, come on. Now, where the Lexus goes above the BMW, and this is where it's funny, because the BMW has some technology but not all the technology, but you can option it up with all the technology, which then obviously puts the price up. And when you're spending over $200,000, what's 10 grand here or there? So something like massage seats in the BMW is an option. In this one, it's standard, and my goodness, what a pleasure it is to have massaging seats. Like, oh guys, I cannot explain to you how nice it is to be driven around. And here's the thing, like, in the Lexus, you want to do the driving, like, as comfortable as it is in the back. It's such a pleasure to drive that you want to be driving, and that's what I love about it, that you can still, you know, drive it normally, comfortably, give it a bit of power. It's so good. It's so good. Does all the technology matter? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But something in a car like this that does matter is how the car feels, and this car feels good, and that's the difference. Anyways, let's jump in the back and see how it feels in there. So now we are in the back of the LS, and straight away you can see there's a lot more going on here. So we've got the center armrest down, we've got a nice big touch screen here, we've got a big screen here in front of us, which is all electronic. So what I mean by that is you can actually tilt this screen up and down. I'll show you that in a minute. We've got our blinds here on the left hand side, and of course blinds on the right hand side where the camera is. But as you can see, I'm sitting very high up. Now, I'm not the tallest bloke, and I'm not the shortest either. I'm what, 5'11", and it's probably about an inch headroom left from the top, which is very odd for a car like this. But you can actually play around with it. So if I turn my screen on here and I was to recline myself, here we go, all of a sudden someone taller can sit here. Now, if for anyone that's watched my LS review, the comprehensive review that we've done, you would have probably seen this. Now, if I press this button, the seat in front of me goes all the way forward, and it keeps going, and I now recline, and I can have a very relaxing, as you can see we're driving now, I've got my friend here driving me, and I'm very relaxed. And all of a sudden, if you're in this position, you can be a lot taller. However, you couldn't have anyone in front of you. Now, something else you can do is have your leg rest. So you can literally have a snooze. How good is that? That's and even goes one step further. The whole seat's adjustable. So what I mean by is the headrest is fully electronic. It's rather uncomfortable. You got your side bolsters, and you've even got massage seats as standard in the sports luxury. Now, we've already been in the BMW, and we know in the BMW that was an option that wasn't selected, and it's such a shame because there's nothing better than getting a massage while you're in the back seat getting driven by your chauffeur, or your friend in this matter. How good is that? You can do seat memory as well. So like the BMW, you can do your seat memory. So I can go set, push 1 or 2 to save current seat position 1. So next time I jump in, as long as no one's sitting in front of me, I push number 1, and it puts me back into this position. And it's time to have a snooze. How do I put it? I want the BMW to be the better car, because my goodness, does it look good, and it's just striking, and it's got this presence to it and this aura. But seriously, it just doesn't get more comfortable than this. Like, it's so nice. The leather is plush. What I mean by that is you sink into it. Now, if I go ahead and just put myself back and I sit up for a second, we can go through everything else that goes in the back seat. So you've got these mirrors up here for when the ladies need to do their makeup, or men, not judging. You've got speakers in the roof, because we've got to remember this is the Mark Levinson sound system, and it's got 24 speaker sound system. 24 speakers, and the wattage, if I remember correctly, I think it was 2400 watts. That's triple the BMW. Like, that's standard in this car. Something else that the Lexus actually has, which is really nice, it's got the air vents in the roof and the air vents in the pillars, which means you get a nice cold breeze everywhere, and of course in the center console as well, and from underneath the seat. So you're always going to be nice and cool. Of course, these nice electronics, if I push that button down, the shades come down, and all the windows, yes, they're dual glazed, which means that they are inside the car. It is ridiculously quiet. Like, if there wasn't any air conditioning noise, I could whisper here and you could still hear me. It's just so nice. And of course, we can't forget that behind you here is a cooler box for your bottle. So my water, I can just put into there, and after about 10 minutes it'll be nice and chill. And you know something that I appreciate as well, this suede Alcantara finish on the roof lining. Again, that's standard, unlike the BMW where that's actually an option, which again hasn't been selected, which is, it's starting to look like a rather poor car, this BMW. Even though, believe it or not, that BMW as a standard price here in Australia anyway cost around 45 grand more. And that begs the question, why? Why is that BMW 45 grand more? Is that because it can be? Or because it sure isn't bringing out all the options? And as much as I want to say it, it doesn't drive more comfortably in the back. This is just so nice. Now, some drawbacks of the Lexus. Unlike the BMW, this middle screen doesn't pop out, like it's fixed. So if I want to adjust my seating, I need to make sure this is down here. Now, it's not often that you're going to have 5 passengers in this car, but if you need to, that means that you're going to be not riddled with all these luxuries, because as soon as I put this up, it's just always there. And obviously the middle seat is rather uncomfortable because this is rock solid, unlike these two seats. So if you're to buy this car, I'll probably say keep it as a 4-seater as a maximum, because you're gonna want the luxuries 24/7. Now, something else that the Lexus doesn't have, it doesn't have no rear sunroof. So if that's something that you're hoping for, that added luxury, it's not there. But the speakers in the roof really, I don't know, which one would you prefer, speakers in the roof or a sunroof? Let me know in the comments, because as much as I want to say I prefer the sunroof, when you crank this sound system, it is just sensational, and it's so nice. Now, we were in the BMW just before, and you can see it's lacking a lot of lighting. It's got ambient lighting, but only one color, and that's yellow. Unlike the BMW, where you got your choice of lilac or blue or pink or purple or yellow and all the other colors. This just has one color, and there's no spotlights here, but again, it does have a spotlight here, so I guess that's a preference. This is just so nice. And of course, from the back here, I can put my massage on, and you got spot heaters too, which means that where the massage balls are, it heats those up. So I've got it on level 5 now, and we can just relax. How good would it be to pull up to a drive-thru and you're just sitting in the back seat getting a massage? Yes, 1 order of a Big Mac, please. So in conclusion, it's for me, it's actually a no-brainer. Like, I won't say it's a little bit tricky, but for me it's a no-brainer. The Lexus is the superior car, and maybe if the BMW had all the options, but then it would be what, $100,000 more with every option that money can buy. And maybe it wouldn't be 100, maybe it's 70, maybe it's 60, maybe it's another 50,000, but that still puts the car a whole $100,000 more. And is it worth it? Is it really? I don't think so. I really don't think so.